Great news for Spurs fans that Victor Wembanyama, in the New Year's Eve game against the Knicks, went down with what looked like a pretty bad hyperextension. Obviously, a couple of nights ago, but before that, Nikola Jokic had a hyperextension, sidelined him for about a month, they're saying, and then they'll reevaluate. Wemby, I even watched a video where a doctor said it looked worse than Nicola's, but ends up not being as serious, or at least seems like. In that game, he even when he got up on his own, went to the locker room on his own, which is always a good sign. He was actually jogging off, and he was telling the fans that, oh, he'll be back, or he'll be back, something like that, or I'm good, basically reassuring that he's all good, and that it just he was sore or whatever. Came back in the game, or not? He didn't come back in the game, but he stayed on the bench, which is a good sign to see him. He was happy because the Spurs came back and beat the Knicks in that game. And like I said, the initial report, Spurs star hyperextends his knee, but reportedly avoids a major issue. They say he's day to day. Wemby expects to be back very soon. He said he wants to play in that Knicks game, but the coaching staff, obviously, the Spurs being um, very cautious with Wemby as they are with mainly like every star they have, especially their stars and all their players. Um, so thankful that he's okay, and that it's nothing serious. Um, I do think that maybe there should be more discourse on the fact that in order to win like Defense Player of the Year, MVP, all these awards to be on NBA first team, that you need to hit that 65 game requirement. Especially we're seeing nowadays where it seems like just every NBA player is getting injured, and so I feel like they should minimize the games of requirement. I do think there should be one, but I think you should lower it down. I would say to like 50 or maybe even half. And then obviously the people voting can depend and like very like, okay, he played really well, but he only played half the season. Where this guy, he played maybe not as well, but for a full season. So, and they can consider that. That's the way I look at it. Because I don't think Wemby will miss too much time with this injury. That's what it seems like. But again, the Spurs are cautious as they should be. So we'll see what happens. And you can see in this game, he had a great game. 31 points, 9 of 10 from the free throw line, 10 of 12 from the field goal, from the field. And looking at it, so he did not travel to Indiana with the Spurs. So the Spurs will be playing the Pacers today without Wemby. Pacers, I believe, are one of the worst teams in the league, possibly the worst in the East. So that should be no problem for the Spurs. And then they actually have a back to back. So I could possibly see Wemby being out for that one too. But then they have a 3 days between that and their next game against the Grizzlies. So I would assume Wemby is back for sure by here. I don't think he misses this one, but we'll see. But yeah, just some thoughts on this game to wrap up this video. It was mainly just to let y'all guys know. I know it's like a day late, but just to let y'all know that Wemby is okay, and I know it looked bad, but one thing I think Wemby has that Nikola Jokic doesn't have, and that's why his wasn't as bad, is if you look at it, if you watch both, they looked both pretty bad. With Wemby's though, he was falling down, which has more impact, obviously. With Nikola Jokic, he was just stationary. So generally looking at it, you would think, oh, Wemby's is gonna be worse. I think Wemby's is better. One, because he's younger. He's Nikola is not like old, but he's definitely younger. He's also more agile than Nikola Jokic, and you can see it with Victor Wembanyama. The training he does, he trains his flexibility. There was, I think, in his rookie year where he like twisted his ankle against the Rockets, going out of bounds, and it looked bad, but he was actually completely fine. So I think those are three big things why Victor is okay, and I mean, thank God he is. As a Spurs fan, we're all grateful that he's healthy. Obviously, in this game, obviously the other story was Champagny going crazy, 36 points. And this is just I want to say. I've been saying it from the start of the year. I think Champagny should start. I think Castle should be on the bench. I know that's an unpopular opinion. I think Sohan should not only be getting minutes, he didn't play again this time, but he should be getting starter minutes. I think the starting lineup should be De'Aaron Fox, Devin Vassell. No, I actually want Champagny. I would go a lineup of De'Aaron Fox, Julian Champagny, Harrison Barnes, Jeremy Sohan, and Victor Wembanyama. I would put Sohan out there mainly for defense and because he can be physical with other bigs. And if they have a big on the other team where Victor is having trouble against physically, Sohan can be that guy to like rough him up and take care of him. Not to say Barnes is bad as a power forward, but I think he's better at small forward. That's why I push him to small forward. Champagny to shooting guard, and then De'Aaron Fox running the show. I think Castle should only be on the bench because it's just the way the roster fits. But I don't mind starting Castle that much. But the problem with the Spurs, and you can see it again in this last game, they run the offense through Stephon Castle when we literally have De'Aaron Fox. And literally, like De'Aaron Fox and Wemby were supposed to be this like crazy 1-2 man game, but they have not really developed chemistry. Why? Because if you watch these Spurs games, Castle is the one who runs the point for most of the time. They both start, and Castle's the one who runs point. And then De'Aaron Fox is the first one to go on the bench. When he comes back, him and Dylan Harper kind of share duties. But Castle is like the main point guard, which I don't get because he's more of a combo guard. But that's all I'm going to say about this game. Good comeback win from the Spurs, getting their revenge on the Knicks from that NBA Cup title game. Wemby's all good. Prayers for Wemby and his health going in the future. And that's going to be it for me in this video. I'll see you on the next one. Let me know if you'd like to see more Spurs content.